and the conflict between these groups had already resulted in over a dozen murders. The war started with personal losses on both sides. Fulio's cousin Zion Brown was killed in 2017, while Yungeen Ace survived being shot 8 times in 2018, but lost his brother and 2 associates in
I remember that, Joan. Bro, they all was supposed to die that day. My bad. But it was true. And then he made that song, I'm talking about pain. I'm talking about pain. I know y'all know about that, John.
in the same attack. Ksoo's involvement in this deadly feud became personal when his half-brother Willie Addison, known as Boss Goon, was gunned down in a drive-by shooting after a rap event in 2018.
I'm trying to find my way, shit drive me crazy.
What took you so long?
I'm fucking don't wanna love, she talking about babies. I've been hurting them deep in this shit, nobody has saved me. Every day I get up and rush, ain't never been lazy.
Man, Ksoo just snitched on Yungeen Ace in court, shorty. Tap in.
His own crew decided to save their necks by snitching on him.
Well, I told Hakeem that it'll be better if he did it himself.
Then his own father hit him with the ultimate betrayal that cuts deeper than a diss track.
Who is the person that was captured on the video recording shooting Charles McCormick?
My son.
And now, Ksoo is breaking the street code himself. He's snitching on Yungeen Ace in court. Word is, he's revealing Ace's alleged involvement in Fulio's murder. Let's get into it. Ksoo.
Now they're lying, okay? Y'all be saying I'm clickbaiting, nigga. These niggas be clickbaiting, they be lying.
Who exposes Yungeen Ace's dark secrets in shocking court testimony. Ksoo, real name Hakeem Robinson, just delivered testimony that's got everyone questioning everything they thought they knew about the ATK family. The 26-year-old rapper who's been locked up since 2020 facing multiple murder charges allegedly just laid out some devastating information about his former crew leader that's got the whole rap community shook. But to understand how deep this betrayal really cuts, we gotta rewind to the brotherhood that once existed between these 2 Jacksonville legends. Ksoo and Yungeen Ace weren't just gang members, they were best friends who shared an unbreakable bond. These came up together in the trenches of Jacksonville's north side, where survival meant having each other's backs no matter what. Yungeen Ace went so broke paying for Ksoo's legal fees that he described their bond as unbreakable and openly said he'd do anything for Ksoo, even if it meant financial ruin. The emotional connection ran deeper than just street loyalty. When Ksoo was behind bars, Yungeen Ace would get visibly emotional after receiving jail calls from his best friend. This wasn't just some surface level crew affiliation, this was family, blood deeper than blood. Both rappers were affiliated with the ATK gang, standing for Ace's top killers, and they shared a common enemy that would eventually define their entire existence: Julio Fulio and his KTA crew. The beef between ATK and KTA wasn't just some rap rivalry cooked up for clout. This was real-life war that had been brewing since 2017, claiming bodies and destroying families across Jacksonville. Fulio, whose real name was Charles Jones, was the leader of the rival KTA/6 Block gang, and the conflict between these groups had already resulted in over a dozen murders. The war started with personal losses on both sides. Fulio's cousin Zion Brown was killed in 2017, while Yungeen Ace survived being shot 8 times in 2018, but lost his brother and 2 associates in
I remember that, Joan. Bro, they all was supposed to die that day. My bad. But it was true. And then he made that song, I'm talking about pain. I'm talking about pain. I know y'all know about that, John.
in the same attack. Ksoo's involvement in this deadly feud became personal when his half-brother Willie Addison, known as Boss Goon, was gunned down in a drive-by shooting after a rap event in 2018. This tragedy would set Ksoo on a path of revenge that prosecutors say led to multiple murders, including the deaths of 16-year-old Adrian Gaynor Jr., Bibby in 2019, and Charles McCormick Jr., Lil Buck, in 2020. Throughout Ksoo's legal troubles, Yungeen Ace remained publicly supportive, showing the world what real loyalty looked like. On July 25th, 2025, during Ksoo's murder trial, Yungeen Ace posted on Instagram expressing hope that Ksoo would beat his case, stating, "I know so much time been taken from y'all. I've been just trying everything I can for y'all, even when I fall short. I know I ain't the best, but it ain't none I won't do for y'all." Even with his own legal troubles to worry about, Ace kept showing love for his incarcerated brother. But while the loyalty played out online, rumors behind the scenes painted a different picture. Word on the street is Ksoo might have flipped snitching on elements of the gang and even pointing fingers at Ace Ace for allegedly being involved in Fulio's death. To be fair, there have always been whispers that Ace had something to do with it. The most explosive allegations came from an unexpected source, a masked man who appeared in viral social media videos claiming direct knowledge of murder-for-hire schemes. This unidentified individual made shocking claims that would rock the entire Jacksonville rap scene to its core. In a video that surfaced on social media, the masked man claimed he killed Fulio for a $10,000 bounty allegedly offered by Yungeen Ace, stating,
Yo.
Hey, on everything I love, bro. On the dead homies, bro. I put it on everything on my soul, on my kids, man. I'm the one that smacked Fulio that night when he got dropped at his birthday celebration, bro.
The masked
Y'all think this nigga lying, bro? Y'all think this nigga lying, bro? What if he was one of the niggas, bro? That is spooky. Why you get on here telling, though, bro? That's the spooky thing about it. You want to go kill somebody, but on your dead homies, and then you start snitching. It's crazy. I ain't go bad. That's why.
I love, bro. On the dead homies, bro. I put it on everything on my soul, on my kids, man. I'm the one that smacked Fulio that night when he got dropped at his birthday celebration, bro.
The masked confessor went even further, claiming direct communication with Yungeen Ace about the hit. The man alleged,
but yeah, you feel me? I did that. You feel me? I handled that because, you know, Ace had that money on his head. You know, Ace had to put that 10K up. Told me to slide, told me to smack food because, you know, he got tired of running his mouth playing all the time. You feel me? There was money on his head. You feel me? I rock with Ace and them boys. You feel me?
Man, that's hot. None of these niggas lying, bro. Fulio said it was money on his head. That nigga said it was like 100,000 on his head. For them niggas get 10K to go kill somebody is crazy. Nigga, I know you capping.
TK, you feel me? I be in Jacksonville heavy, you feel me? If you know, you know.
These weren't just random accusations. This person was claiming intimate knowledge of conversations, payments, and instructions that could only come from someone with inside access. But here's where the story gets even more twisted. Despite these explosive allegations circulating online and gaining millions of views, law enforcement has not arrested or charged Yungeen Ace in connection with Fulio's murder. During a press conference on July 30th, 2024, Jacksonville, Sheriff TK Waters was asked about Yungeen Ace's involvement, and authorities stated he was not under investigation for the murder.
So Yungeen Ace has long been known in Jacksonville. We are consistently monitoring those groups.
This created a strange dynamic where explosive accusations were flying around social media, but the official investigation seemed to be moving in a completely different direction. 5 suspects were eventually arrested in connection with Fulio's murder.
Wait, chat. Let me go back real quick.
In a completely different direction. 5 suspects were eventually...
Oh, come on. Do y'all think this the nigga that had the mask on? Or that nigga? No, that nigga ain't had no hair. Y'all think that was this nigga? I don't think it was that nigga, bro. I don't think it was. Dude, it might be, chat. $10,000 is spooky.
Arrested in connection with Fulio's murder. Isaiah Chance, Alicia Andrews, Sean Gathright, Rashad Murphy, and Davion Murphy. All documented gang members of ATK and 1,200 groups connected to Yungeen Ace. But notably absent from that list was the man whose name kept coming up in the streets.
There were 3 people who pulled the trigger. You saw it on the video. 5 people, though, are charged with murder. The level of planning and coordination between these 5 defendants was truly alarming.
The authorities' position was clear but complicated. Sheriff TK Waters acknowledged that Yungeen Ace was known to law enforcement and that his movements were monitored. But he also made it clear that there was no active investigation into Ace's involvement in Fulio's murder. The careful wording suggested that while Yungeen Ace wasn't currently under investigation for this specific murder, he remained a person of interest in the broader context of Jacksonville's gang violence. Meanwhile, Yungeen Ace himself has publicly denied involvement, stating on Instagram Live.
It's sad. I ain't gonna lie, bro.
But his denials came after some questionable timing that raised eyebrows across the rap community. Within hours of Fulio's death being confirmed, Yungeen Ace released a diss track called Do It on June 24th, 2024, which many interpreted as celebrating the murder before the body was even cold. So is Ksoo snitching? If he is, it's probably because just about everyone else has already snitched on him. Ksoo's father destroys him in court while murder evidence piles up. Courtroom drama that unfolded during Ksoo's murder trial was nothing short of devastating, but nobody could have predicted the ultimate betrayal that would come from within his own family. On July 28, 2025, Abdul Robinson Sr., known as Blue and Ksoo's father, took the stand as a state witness in what would become one of the most emotionally charged moments in recent Jacksonville legal history.
The day that Charles McCormick was murdered, on January 15, 2020, Does that specific day hold any significance for you and your family?
Yes.
And why is that date significant in your mind?
It's the date that my son got killed.
Who was your son that got killed?
Willie Addison.
Is he your biological child?
No.
Do you still consider him to be your son?
Yes, I consider him to be my son.
The build-up to this moment had been years in the making. Ksoo was arrested on September 10, 2020, following an investigation into multiple murders linked to the gang feud between his affiliated group ATK and the rival KTA gang.
Yeah, we're gonna be out there doing some paperwork. You do have a warrant for your arrest.
We have a warrant for your arrest for murder today.
What?
Yes.
For what?
You want your lawyer, so I can't tell you no more, but you'll be in trouble.
What the hell?
The charges against him were serious first-degree murder as a criminal gang member for the January 15, 2020 shooting death of Charles McCormick Jr., known as Lil Buck, which carries a mandatory life sentence without parole in Florida. But the evidence against Ksoo was mounting like a fortress built to destroy him. The prosecution had constructed their case with methodical precision, using every piece of technology and forensic science available to build an ironclad argument. The centerpiece of their evidence was dashcam footage that captured the shooter chasing and firing at McCormick, which investigators used in conjunction with kinematic modeling to compare body types. The forensic evidence was damning in ways that would make any defense attorney lose sleep. Ksoo's fingerprints were found on a gun discovered in the stolen Nissan Altima used to commit the crime and flee from the scene. But that wasn't all. DNA analysis revealed that it was over 700 billion times more likely that Ksoo had worn a white t-shirt found rolled up next to the gun in the stolen vehicle. The prosecution also leveraged Ksoo's own words against him in the most devastating way possible. His rap lyrics and social media posts were introduced as evidence, including a song where he rapped about smoking Dirk and Bibby to the face, and an Instagram post with McCormick's photo captioned, "Bye bye bye." These weren't just artistic expressions anymore. They were being treated as confessions to murder.
That nigga Ksoo was tweaking, bro. Overly tweaking. And it said that I forgot I was reacting to a video. That's why I had to come on here and talk. But I forgot I was in here cooked watching this junk. But yeah, bro. His own father get up there and snitch. His man's up there got up there and snitched. This is spooky, bro. And it was all because the get back of his son. You feel me? Like, that's kind of spooky, bro. Imagine you go and get back for your brother, nigga. And your dad, because your dad got shot and they tell on you. I feel so sorry for this nigga. But it's kind of weird that this nigga got Ksoo just snitched on Yungeen Ace in court when this ain't got nothing to do with Ksoo snitching in court, because that nigga ain't snitching in court. They ain't thinking. They already said they're not thinking about Yungeen Ace. So, Yungeen Ace is living free, nigga.
Trial began with jury selection on July 21st, 2025, and Ksoo was tried alongside his cousin, Leroy Whitaker, known as ATK Scotty, who was charged as an accomplice. The proceedings lasted 7 days, with 2 separate juries hearing the cases simultaneously due to the complexity of the charges and relationships between defendants. But the most devastating blow came from someone who should have been Ksoo's strongest supporter. Abdul Robinson Sr. had agreed to a plea deal in 2023, pleading guilty to accessory after the fact in McCormick's murder and solicitation in a separate 2020 botched hit that killed an innocent bystander, David Rothermel. This deal reduced his potential 60-year sentence to 76 months, contingent on testifying against his sons. When Abdul Robinson Sr. took the stand, the emotional weight of the moment was suffocating. He identified his son Hakeem as the shooter in the dashcam video, stating, "I know my kids," and confirming it was him based on parental recognition. He admitted to helping burn the clothes worn during the crime, but claimed no prior knowledge of the murder, sounding emotional.
What the hell, bro? Like, I imagine how Ksoo feel, bro, right now. Your father did that to you, shorty.
Well, he goes,
Who is the person that was captured on the video recording shooting Charles McCormick?
My son.
The father's justification for this ultimate betrayal was rooted in health and family concerns. Robinson Sr. cited severe health issues, diabetes, high blood pressure, congestive heart failure, and failing kidneys as reasons for cooperating, along with wanting to be there for his younger children, an 8-year-old daughter and 6-year-old twins. He described it as the hardest decision I've had to make in my life, acknowledging it would make his life harder post-release.
And I hold his hand while I was driving. You know, because I didn't want him to die, feel like he died alone.
The impact of this testimony on the Robinson family was catastrophic beyond measure. The decision highlighted a perceived betrayal within the family, particularly in the context of street and gang culture where snitching is considered the ultimate taboo. Online reactions reflected mixed public perceptions. Some viewed it as a father teaching accountability and protecting himself, while others labeled it outright betrayal. But Ksoo's father wasn't the only family member caught up in this web of violence and betrayal. His brother Abdul Robinson Jr., 27 years old, was also charged with second-degree murder in the McCormick case and set for a separate trial. He was alleged.
Oh, so both of them? I didn't know Ksoo brother was part of this too. I did not know Ksoo brother was part of this too, bro. That's crazy, bro. So Ksoo, he lost both his sons to this jump.
Upset by McCormick's diss track and involved in early planning of the murder. The prosecution's case was further strengthened by testimony from key accomplices who had flipped to save themselves. Dominique Butta Barner, the 31-year-old getaway driver who was initially charged with first-degree murder, took a plea deal reducing his potential life sentence to 20 years and became the state's star witness. Barner testified on July 25, 2025, detailing how he found McCormick's address online, waited outside his apartment, followed him to a plaza in a stolen Nissan Altima, and fled after the shooting. Leroy Whitaker, Ksoo's 24-year-old cousin known as ATK Scotty, was charged with first-degree murder and gun possession as a co-defendant. The evidence against Whitaker was equally damning. DNA analysis revealed greater than 700 billion to 1 odds that he had worn a medium-sized shirt found in the stolen vehicle, and a loaded AR-15 rifle found in the back seat was allegedly his. The moment of truth came on July 31st, 2025, when both separate juries delivered their verdicts. Both Ksoo and Whitaker were found guilty of first-degree murder, facing mandatory life sentences without parole. The courtroom footage captured Ksoo's immediate reaction, standing slowly at the defense table, turning to look back at his family in the gallery, shaking his head repeatedly in apparent disbelief. The impact of these convictions sent shockwaves through the Jacksonville rap community, but the reverberations were just beginning, with Ksoo now facing life in prison and his father having already testified against. The stage was set for even more explosive revelations that could potentially implicate other major figures in the ATK organization.
Now that's crazy, bro. Like, Ksoo went through it all for this case, bro. Yungeen Ace went, bro. He could have beat this case because they did not know who that was until his dad said, "I know my kids, that's my son." He trying to get up out of there, shorty. Like, comment, subscribe, man. You know we stay with bangers. You know how we get, man. Tap in.